Hey there, Metalheads, Flying V here, and today I'm going to review the Sony PlayStation 2. The Sony PlayStation 2 was Sony's second home video game console, released in 2000. The console was discontinued January 7th, 2013, running the second longest of any video game console, selling over 155 million units worldwide, also making it the most successful video game console ever produced. The console had a total of 10,828 games and has a variety of accessories. And a lot of prominent franchises actually started on this console. For example, the Jak and Daxter series made its start on this console. The God of War series did, I believe. Okami made its start on here. Ratchet and Clank made its start on here, and a bunch of others. So, yeah. The reason why the PS2 was so successful was really because of very good marketing from Sony and the built-up installed base from the original PlayStation, because everybody who bought a PlayStation 2. And Sony also marketed it to both casuals and gamers, so, both markets, people who wouldn't buy a game console and people who would buy a game console would both buy it, because early on they really marketed it as a DVD player, because they did make it so that you could play DVDs on it. So, yeah, because of that, and of course all the games available for it, and the aggressive marketing from Sony, and the built-up installed base from the PlayStation, the PS2 sold as well as it did. And that was really the PS2's success story. So, let me just go through all the features and talk about some of the accessories. So, first we have the memory card slots and the controller ports. You could buy a multi-tap for the PS2, so you could use 4 controllers. Of course, you got your power button and your eject button. Next, over here you have your 2 USB ports, so you could, I believe you could plug in a computer, mouse, and keyboard in here. And then there's an S400 port right here. Okay, now the PS2 actually did something interesting with this port, is that if you plug a cable that this thing supports in it, and then you plug the other end into another PS2, you can play multiplayer on 2 separate screens with both PS2s hooked up to each other, okay? So it was essentially a very primitive version of, of online multiplayer. So, yeah. In theory, it was cool, but in real life, it was impractical. So, to put a disc in, you would simply, take a disc, you would press eject, and the disc tray would slide out, and then you would put a disc on the disc tray, and then press eject, then it would slide closed, and it would read. In case if you don't know how it works. On the back here, have the main power switch, have a power cord port, which you can actually take the power cable from your original PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, certain models of the PS2 Slim, PS3 Slim, PS3 Super Slim, PS4, and PS4 Slim, because their power cables will work on this thing, because it's really just a figure 8 cable. Okay, when you look at it, it's really just a figure 8 cable. Okay, so yeah. Next you have your digital out optical port, where you can get audio from a cable that you plug in here, then plug in on the other side of your TV. Although that's kind of an impractical way to do audio, unless you want to use component. Here's your AV multi-out port. The PS2 will support component video, which looks the best. If you want a PS2, I recommend you buy a pair of component cables, meaning the red, green, blue, white, and red cables. That's what I recommend on this. Next, you have the expansion bay here. Just take the cover off. And now there's two things you can do in here, okay? Number one, this slot here is for a hard drive, okay? You can put a hard drive in this thing, but make sure it's one from like 2000, you know? Because I don't think like any hard drive from later than like 2006 will work on this thing. But if you put a compatible hard drive in here, you can you can use it on your PS2. And if you know how to hack the console properly, you can load games to it. This other port here is for a network adapter that was sold separately for the console, where you basically connect it here and then screw it in through these two holes here, and you could access the internet like that. Because the thing with the network adapter is that they were Ethernet cable ports built on the back of it. So you could, unplug an Ethernet cable into the network adapter and then into a port, I guess, on your wall, which will be connected to your router. So you can access the internet like that. So, yeah. The thing with the PS2 Slim is that they actually built the Ethernet cable port like right on the back of it, because the fat PS2 doesn't have that feature natively. Next, of course, you got the technical information sticker. This is the SCPH-30001R model, the second model of the console, which I believe came out in like early 2001, I believe. So, yeah, and of course, your fan is in there. The PS2 will also play, of course, it supports compact discs, supports Dolby Digital and DTS digital out surround sound, supports DVD video, and DVD-ROM. And because of that, the PS2 will play PS1 games, any PS1 game that you have. Like, for example, here's NHL 2000 for the PS1. It's nothing special. It's just, it's a sports game. You can play it on a PS2. Here's a game. Here's Madden 2003 for the PS2. Not much to it. It's a sports game. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, while most PS2 games came on DVD-ROM discs, various ones came on blue CDs. So yeah, I don't really know what that does. Just wanted to point that out. Next, here's the PlayStation 2 controller. Now, granted, this is a PS1 DualShock controller. However, they stuck with this exact same design for the PS2. How I can tell it's a PS1 controller is because when the PS2 was doing very well, or was selling, they didn't make a controller for the PS2 in this color. Okay, so this is technically a PS1 controller. Which that leads me to another point. PS1 controllers will work on it. Here's a controller connector. Simply plugs in there like that. PS1 memory cards will work on it. And of course, PS1 games will work on it. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but the PS2 can also play video DVDs, meaning movie DVDs, so you can watch movies on this as well. Although I don't know why you want to do that, especially in 2017. Here's a PS2 memory card. Admittedly, this is an 8 megabyte one. I know that they had one. I believe they had one that was like 8 gigabytes. So if you want a PS2, I recommend you get the 8 gigabyte memory card. Okay. However, PS2 memory cards will only save PS2 games. PS1 memory cards will only save PS1 games. So I recommend just get one of each. Simply go in there like that. And they pull out like that. Okay. So you might ask, is it worth owning in 2017? For the most part, it is, okay? For people who don't want to, like, open up their console whenever it's having issues, I recommend that you get this thing. If you have a PlayStation 3 already, just use that for PS3 and PS1 games, depending on what model it is, because, here's the thing. 2 models of the PS3 will support PS2 games, the 20 gigabyte model and the 60 gigabyte model. So, if you don't want this, get like a 60 gigabyte fat PS3. You can play PS1 and PS2 games on it. However, it might get Yellow Light of Death at some point, so you might want to open that up at some point and fix that. Okay, but I recommend this mostly to people who don't want to open up their system when it stops working. So, anyways, if you want to mod your PS2 to play foreign games and burned games, I'd say get a PS2 Slim, because it's easier to modify because there's less components. So, yeah. However, for people who don't want to modify their system, I'd say get a fat PS2, because the PS2 Slim scratches your discs. I don't know why, it just does. The fat PS2 doesn't do that. So, there you go. The PS2 is definitely recommended and should belong in any video gamer's console collection. So, that does it for this video. Please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Share the video. Please let me know if I missed anything, and may the force be with you. Mosh hard.